And here it's going. So hi everybody, welcome. Let's see, I'm just going to do through the technical stuff. Oh, it's still going on here. Okay, ready to go, and we're live. Okay, so cool. Hi everybody.
Hi everybody. Welcome to the show. This is a really great honor because my podiatrist is here. Let's hear it for my podiatrist, Elliot. Oh, that's right. There are other people here. There are professionals here. There are non-professionals. I'm so grateful that you all could make it to be in the show. Thank you all. Nobody's making a dime off this. They got a good copay going anyway. But seriously, just say I'm Helene Witt, and I created the show because it's so exciting, and these people give their lives for health and medical reasons, and I'm so inspired by them. And I'm also inspired by Danny Detchi, who's going to MC the show. He created the show.
Sorry.
And I just want to say I didn't have my lipstick on, so I put on virtual lipstick. And for those of you like my cousin Brenda here who don't know, you could put on virtual lipstick, Brenda, but you also could have it move around, so it's not real. So you have to be careful because you could have a puppet show. So that's what I was saying. That's Brenda laughing. I love it. So I got my whole booker here. So we're going to start the show. I just want to say I met Danny on Zoom, but he used to have shows with my late second Chinese husband, and they had shows together. So I feel like Danny's like my, I guess you could say like my brother-in-law. So I feel very honored to have Danny. He's been working with good timing, and he's just been here for all of us. So I really want to give a big hand for Danny and all the people in the show. You'll get to know them as you watch the show. And thank you everybody for being here.
Thank you, Helene.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, Helene. Also, I've been performing for 2 years with Helene on Zoom, and it's Helene's idea to come up with this doctor show. So I'm Mr. Science today, and so I'll be doing some. So we have a great group of doctors, funny doctors, for you to tickle your funny bones, and tonight here on the Best Medicine Comedy Show. And I'm your host, Mr. Science. And let's see what other. Oh, let me take care of the technical stuff here. Sorry. And so anyway, hold on one sec. Excuse me. Hey, buddy, can you close the microwave oven? Yeah, just close the door. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So oh yeah, what was I going to say? So yeah, excuse me if my poor internet connection service is okay at first, but it's been kind of slow ever since the hamster broke its hip. And the Best Medicine Science Show is also sponsored by Happy Shrimp. Happy Shrimp, unlike those other guys, Happy Shrimp never have bullet holes. Our shrimp die naturally. We strangle them. Happy Shrimp, shrimp with a smile. And also sponsored by Salesforce. Salesforce has the tallest building west of the Mississippi, right here in San Francisco. They have the biggest convention of the year every year in San Francisco, but nobody knows what they do. Salesforce. All right, now on to my little. Actually, I'm a known Mr. Science. Have a fun facts, so I'll give you some fun facts for today. I'll start it off. Also, before that, just mentioning about the environment, people saying how can there not be any climate change? Of course, there's climate change. How can anyone deny it? I mean, already there's been not just one, not two, not three, but 6 Sharknadoes. So how can that already be? Yeah, and also, some of our rivers are polluted. I was actually hiking up in my neighborhood up north. There's a river. It was polluted with so much mercury. How much mercury? This river was polluted with so much mercury that you can take your temperature with a salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. So now it's time for Mr. Science fun facts. Okay, I recently discovered a computer glitch on the self-driving cars, the cars with artificial intelligence, that the self-driving cars. Yeah, they found a computer glitch. They found out that if a couple of passengers get into an argument in the car, and one guy tells the other guy to go to hell, a car will drive right off the cliff. Yeah. So also a lot of our smartphones now have the 5G technology, but you know that 5G technology actually transmits approximately 7 feet above the ground. And if you stand while holding a piece of bread above your head, within 18 seconds, you will have toast.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, let's see, another fun fact. You know that the reason that oranges are larger than lemons is because orange molecules are much bigger than yellow molecules. Yes. And also make sure you always floss properly. Did you know that 37% of people who did not floss properly pulled out their liver? Wow. Yeah, and 12% pulled out their spine. So be careful when you floss. Yes, other fun facts. Okay, you know, Pluto resides at the farthest end of our solar system, but it's also at the end of another adjacent solar system. So in order to maintain peace, both solar systems agreed to no longer recognize Pluto as a planet. So, yeah. And that's why Pluto is no longer a planet. Yes, either. All bowling alley shoes have been around since 1947 in every bowling alley. Okay, more fun facts. Fruits did not exist during biblical times. The forbidden fruit was actually a pastrami sandwich on rice. Yeah. Oh, and did you know that avocados are actually unfertilized dinosaur eggs? If a frog was to mate with an avocado, a dinosaur would actually be born, and that's why you never see avocados at a pet store. Okay. Cows can never be kosher because the meat and dairy are always combined to begin with. Yes, I actually have a picture in here. Let's see. In fact, here I can show it later. I'll have a little thing later. I'll show a little demonstration. Okay, another fun fact. Dove soap is 30% pigeon. All right. Yes. It always takes longer to unwrap a CD than to listen to the entire album. Okay. So now here's a demonstration here. The reason polar bears are on the verge of extinction is because they lay their eggs before they hibernate. So when they wake up, it's hard for them to find their eggs in the snow. Yeah. See right here? See, here's a picture I took a while back. Here's a polar bear right here. And over here is the egg, and it can't see it because it's everything's white. Yeah, and if you look like right over here, a few miles away, you can actually see Sarah Palin in a polar bear suit. She's being kicked out of a restaurant for not being vaccinated. Right there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, before the internet was invented, people used to text each other using the Ouija board. Sometimes people would get disconnected because they lost a dice. Yep. More fun facts. Hey, if you have a cold, did you know that a single punch of the stomach produces 5 milligrams of vitamin C in your body? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of more fun facts before I turn over to the funny doctors. Okay, the patty melt sandwich was actually named after the first virgin that was thrown into a volcano.
Yeah.
Yep. And a reason why human evolution took longer than it should have, because God was telling it to Mother Nature, I said opposable, not disposable thumbs. That's why it took very long. So okay, I guess that's right. Okay, well, also just one little thing I can teach people. Did you know that a number 2 pencil can also be used as a musical instrument?
Yeah.
Yes, play. How about a little Beethoven? Okay, Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Thank you very much. Woo.
Hey,
And just here.
bravo.
Great.
Nice job.
Yes, and let me get the so our first comedian, first doctor of the evening or the night where we were at. It's yeah. Let me try to. So anyway, our first doctor evening, all the way from the East Coast. A lot of us are from the East Coast. I'm Mr. Science is in San Francisco, but a lot of the East Coast. So let's give up for Bob LePat and everybody.
Woo! Thank you very much, Danny. You know, it's interesting. Right next to my computer, I have an entire ream of polar bears.
Uh,
My wife and I love to travel, but we hate commercial airlines. They treat you like cattle. Last time I boarded a plane, I could swear I heard the flight attendant scream out, "Angus to the left, Holsteins to the right." And we like to travel coach, or as I like to call it, last class. You know, where your boarding pass has a letter on it that corresponds to the order you can board on. People can't wait to get on that plane. Once this lady tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Oh, I see you're in Group C. I have Group B. Mind if I get ahead of you and board the plane?" I said, "Sure, lady. I was going to wait for the plane to get here anyway." I do what everyone else does in last class. We try to peek through that curtain at the first class to see what those people wasted their money on. That curtain separating first and last class is like something out of a David Copperfield prop room. See, in first class, the flight attendants look like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt as they hand out champagne, caviar, and hot towels. As they walk through that curtain, they transform into Morticia Adams and Uncle Fester, pitching crackers, juice boxes, and wet naps. Come and get them. In first class, the luggage, the aisle seat, and the headphones are all free. In last class, I had to pay extra just to get an assigned seat. It's becoming more like a subway. Soon you're gonna have to wait for someone to stand up so you could sit down. Once I upgraded to a $30 extra legroom seat. I saw on my credit card, they charged me $60. I guess they figured I wanted extra room for each leg. Now, first class has 2 bathrooms for 20 seats. Last class has 2 bathrooms for 200 seats, which explains why the lunch was rice and bananas. I feel that if you're caught with a prune in last class, you need to be tossed off because that's going to be a problem. Sometimes I like to travel alone, but someone always wants to tag along, like my wife. She's still angry at me from a few months before the pandemic. We were on our way to Rio de Janeiro, bikini capital of the world. My wife packed 6 sundresses, 5 swimsuits, 4 pairs of flip-flops, sunscreen, sunglasses, sunbonnets. I packed binoculars. I saw a sign that said passengers with suspicious luggage will be detained and may miss their flight. Well, I immediately got the weed out of my bag and I put it in hers. You know, TSA can inspect any particular bag if you just slip them a couple of bucks. Now, my wife and I recently got back from Scotland, a beautiful country, but the food and the music suck. And we had to drive on the wrong side of the road. For 2 weeks riding on the other side of the street. It was terrifying till the very last day. She let me drive. Did you know Outlander was filmed there? And we each had our priorities. My wife dragged me to every standing stone in the country where Outlander was filmed. And I dragged her to every Scotch distillery. Every restaurant served this haggis, that traditional meal of savory pudding containing sheep's heart, liver, lungs, minced onion, oatmeal, spices encased in an animal's stomach. But I got to tell you, it doesn't sound as bad as it looks. And we searched for Loch Ness, but that monster remained underwater. Now, I would hide too if I knew that haggis and bagpipes were waiting for me at the surface. I think the distilleries are there to make the food taste good, make the music sound better, and make the monster appear. And we just got back from Italy. We blended in very quickly. By the end of the vacation, we both looked Italian because I learned to talk with my hands. She forgot to pack her razor. Did you know that Italian men and women look identical from the knee down? We recently got back from Paris. And my wife bought that really potent perfume, the one you could smell as you walk up and down the Champs-Élysées, the one that the French use in place of bathing. They should call that self Chanel number 2. But I loved the bidets. My feet have never been cleaner. Thanks for the chuckles. I had an anniversary of my own last year, 35 years as an orthodontist, which is why I was asked to do the show in the first place. And I became a dentist for many reasons. I love working with young, healthy kids. I like creating beautiful smiles that last a lifetime, but most importantly, I failed to get into medical school. Pandemics really changed the way we practice. We now take everyone's temperature, we double mask, and if I drop an instrument, there's no more 5-second rule.
Yeah.
I was taking braces off a patient. Another kid screamed all across the room, said, "Why is she getting her braces off? It might have been on so much longer." I said, "Sweetie, it's simple. Her mom just made the last payment." It'd be funny if it wasn't true. Orthodontists rate their patients on a scale of 1 to 10 based on the difficulty of their particular problem. If I see number 1 on the chart, I'm looking forward to an easy case start to finish. If I see a 10 on the chart, I'm looking forward to an all-expense-paid 2-week Caribbean cruise. Now, even though I'm a dentist, many parents treat me as their family physician. Last month, a mom came to me and asked me if I could think of some remedy to help with her son's constipation. I said, "Mrs. Jones, I'm not a physician and I don't like giving medical advice, but have you tried Taco Bell? That should help him drop the chalupa." Orthodontic offices, I feel, need to be tailored to the patients they want to attract. I have an office in Queens tailored towards kids called Family Orthodontics, games and balloons everywhere. We have another office tailored toward millennials called Wired. Each room has a safe space. Each patient gets a trophy and the bill gets emailed to their parents. And because there are so many adults who feel they're just too old to get braces, we have an office tailored toward adults over in Chelsea. Hasn't been doing that well. I think it's because we called it, it's never too late to get straight.
Oh, yeah.
Many adults now, in my office, we use both the regular metal braces and now we use these both removable, clear, Invisalign braces. You probably heard of that. Last month, I was consulting with a mom about her Invisalign treatment. She turned to me, she said, "Should I remove these for oral sex?"
Oh.
I said, "Absolutely. But just so you know, I'll also accept PayPal or Venmo." Thanks so much. I'm Bob Lepakian.
And, ooh, thank you, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Ooh, thanks, Bob. Yeah, Taco Bell, good medicine. Yeah. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, we're not all doctors, but laughter is the best medicine, and we know about that. So, yeah. Ooh, alrighty. So
Thank you,
yeah, thanks, Bob. And your next comedian, it's Ellen Orchid. She's a psychiatrist turned stand-up comic. She has performed on The View, America's Funniest People, Saturday Night Live. I think I remember that one. And it also was a psychiatrist on The Sopranos. She appeared on the documentary Vegucated and a documentary about benefits of a vegan diet. And she wrote a biography of her grandfather, and she's here with us tonight to give us some laughs. So let's hear for Ellen Orchid, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny. How's everybody doing today?
Thank
Okay.
you.
I hope you're doing all
Doing
right.
great. Yeah, doing great.
Let it out. Don't be pressed. I work every day as a psychiatrist. How do you feel about that? Anybody here in therapy? I am. there you go. Anyone in therapy is ashamed to admit it, please don't be. Anyone hearing so many voices, you don't know what I just said. I'll tell you, doing therapy in Manhattan, it's like selling Band-Aids at the Battle of Gettysburg. Very difficult work, very stressful. I'm really getting burnt out. I got to admit it. You've heard of tennis elbow? I have shrink ear. It's rough. Every day I go in, I face incredible fear, sadness, rage. That's just the staff. Oh my goodness. And of course, the holidays are the worst. This past Christmas Eve, I was stuck working in the psychiatric emergency room. On that one shift alone, I saw 12 hypochondriacs, 11 obsessive compulsive, 10 pyromaniacs, 9 alcoholics, 8 anorexics, 5 crack whores. Patient came up to me, goes, Doc, you gotta help me. I'm invisible. I said, I can't see you now. Very stressful. Another patient was delusional. He was going, I am a prophet. I am a prophet. I said, I'm sorry, sir, this is a not-for-profit. Oh, patients can be so, yes, let it out, let it out. Patients can be so difficult. This lady came in, she wants a renewal of her prescription, a refill. I said, she didn't even bring the bottle. I said, well, what medication are you on? She goes, I don't remember the name, but it's a white pill. Can you tell me anything else? It's round. Could be an aspirin, could be a Tic Tac, who knows? So I said to her, you see that guy down the hall in the white coat? He's going to refill that for you. I don't know his name, but he's wearing a white coat. Another patient came in. She did bring in the bottle and it said, do not use while operating heavy machinery. And she said to me, what about my vibrator?
Good point.
Very, very stressful. Another guy, we see there's this guy that keeps coming back to the psych emergency room. Every few months he comes back in. He says he tried to kill himself by drinking a bottle of wine and then smashing the bottle into bits and then swallowing the pieces of glass. He does this every few months. Ooh. I said to him, what kind of wine was it? Was it a Chardonnay?
Oh dear.
Just wondering. Oh my God. But you know, for therapy to work, something called transference has to occur. This is the transference of money from the patient's bank account. Very important, very important. Let it out, don't repress. We're here, we're sharing. In my private practice, I try to keep my fees reasonable. Someone talks for an hour, $100. If I listen, $200. Yeah, but you know, look, we want to make it clear there is nothing funny at all about mental illness, which is why I do this. I have to get out of mental illness. And mental illness touches every one of us, and it's very common. 1 in 100 people has schizophrenia, and the other 99 of us not doing that well either. It's simply true, my friends. In Manhattan, we're all drinking coffee all the time, and then we go see our therapist because we're anxious and we can't sleep. And there's a lot of drugs in this town, drugs everywhere, of course, and that only makes things even more hard to treat. There's a drug where I work, it's called K2. Have you heard about this? Terrible stuff, very dangerous. But it makes me wonder, what happened to K1? Did it not catch on? Maybe it didn't catch on. Was it like the Chanel number 4 of the drug. Yeah. You know, I wanted my therapist to come to this show tonight, but she said, Ellen, it's not appropriate for the therapist to enter the real world of the patient. I said, why? You entered my real wallet. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's rough. You know, I got interested in the field by reading Freud, which was very inspiring. Sigmund Freud, a genius. He discovered the subconscious. No one else was aware of it. That joke is going to hit you like a ton of bricks later. In Europe, they still worship this man. There's even a Freud Airlines. Did you know? The plane has 2 sections, guilt and shame. And the seats go all the way back to childhood.
Yeah.
And the planes are shaped like a penis, and the other planes envy it. Speaking of penises, you know that Freud came up with the concept of penis envy. And he used to argue with his good friend Carl Jung because they didn't understand they argued about the definition. Jung thought that every woman wanted a penis, and Freud thought that every woman wanted his penis. Anyway, you have been a wonderful audience, and don't forget to laugh and let it out. Don't repress.
All right.
Woo, yeah, Ellen.
Woo! Good for Ellen Orchid, everybody. Woo! Great advice. Yeah. Thank you. Woo! And yeah, let it out. So, woo! All right. Our next comedian is Bruce Lipsky. His stand-up has been seen at Dangerfields, the Broadway Comedy Club, Greenwich Village Comedy Club, and the Comic Strip Live in New York City, as well as the Governor's. The brokerage and My Father's Place is on Long Island. Oh, and anyway, I also saw him many times on Zoom. Got to been very happy to perform with him on Zoom many times, and he's been on some of my other Zoom shows too. So let's get for Bruce Lipsky.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'm honored to be among doctors. You know, I may be the doctor of style. That's as close as I get. But anyway, I had a problem with my elderly dad. I got a call from him recently. He said, Bruce, guess what? They just opened up a new comedy club in my neighborhood. I said, Dad, that's fantastic. What's it called? He said, Stand Up MRI.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, did you check it out? He said, yeah, they wouldn't let me in. I didn't have a prescription. So I said, ask him a simple question. Did he accept tip there? He says they could hip, back, neck. They probably take all body parts. But I got a call from his doctor. He said, Mr. Lipsky, I have some concerns about you. Dad, he showed up in my office the other day carrying a small chair. I said, what was that all about? He said, that was his stool sample.
Yeah.
I said, it kind of makes sense because lately he's been complaining of having hard stools. I just hope I don't inherit his hard stool. But the doctor said, I want to get into the hospital for some tests. So we're in the hospital, walking down the hallway. I put my arm around my dad and I said, Dad, don't worry, I got your back. He said, okay, you got my back, but how about taking my inflamed prostate? And as we're walking, this technician is wheeling this contraption with all these tubes and hoses. And my father stops and says, Mister, you're not going to hook me up to that machine today, are you? The guy says, I hope not for your sake. It's a carpet cleaner. But my dad was actually a philosopher. He used to tell me all the time, Bruce, you should always put your best foot forward. But who knew at age 66, my best foot forward would have gout?
Yeah.
Not right. It's not right. And look under my eyes. I got these lines. You know, I went to the dermatologist. He said, oh, these things are so bad. They're crow's feet. It was so bad. He sent me to a podiatrist. The podiatrist looked at it and said, these things are so bad. They need orthotics. I tell you, when I was younger, if I had a leak in my house, I'd call my plumber. Now I call my urologist. And it's $50 cheaper. I used to go to Studio 54 in New York City. I would get on that dance floor to go bust a move. Now I'm afraid to take my wife dancing. I may bust a hip. My wife said to me the other day, Bruce, let's get down tonight. I said, I don't mind getting down, but how the hell am I going to get up?
Yeah.
I'm starting to forget things. I can't remember anything. I swear my foam mattress has a better memory than I do.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I used to travel all over the world travel, Paris, London, Ireland. Now I just travel incontinent. It's hard. It's really hard. Let me tell you, it gets worse. I had an argument with my wife the other day. She said, Bruce, I keep on talking to you. You don't acknowledge me. Do you have loss of hearing? I said, no, I got loss of listening. But, as you get older, you got to stay in shape. I started an exercise program, but I only exercise late at night, very late at night, between the hours of 3 and 5 in the morning. I run sprints from the bedroom to the bathroom. My wife calls it my fleet of pee. Good news is I got my time done under 6 seconds. Unfortunately, I only can hold my pee for 4.2.
Yeah.
And my wife is a fitness nut. She takes goat yoga. Yeah, goat yoga. And she finds it very therapeutic and relaxing, especially when the goat jumps in her back and licks her ears. I said, wait a second. I tried that last week. You slapped me and threw me out of the bedroom. And now you'll pay a goat to do it? It's got better technique and fresher breath. I asked her, they allow kids in the class? She said, no, they only used adult goats. But before I met my wife, I actually dated a very famous TV weather person. The first time we got intimate, it was like a bad winter forecast. She was predicting 10 to 12. All she got was 2 to 4. Man, was she angry. Now I know why they named hurricanes after women. It's hard. It's very tough. It's very tough. But my wife actually had some medical issues recently. She had to go for some surgical procedure. But in order to do the free surgery, they had to do some tests. 1 week, she had a CAT scan and a PET scan. So I said to the doctor, what are you going to check next? For fleas? And I said, the way she's been acting lately, maybe you should check her for distemper. And she said to the doctor, maybe you should test my husband for my foot and his mouth disease. We just celebrated a milestone anniversary, my wife and I. 30 years of wedded bliss. No. Wedded blisters, because all these years, and I got the calluses to prove it. And when we first met, our love was infectious. Now, our relationship is just chronic. I still find ways to make her angry and get her sick. And she really tries hard, my wife. She tries to to keep the family going, but she spends an hour on the internet surfing for a recipe, another hour shopping, and a third hour cooking. And in 30 seconds, my son will say, "You're cooking that shitty chicken again?" She makes a broccoli casserole to die for, literally.
Yeah.
We had a party. We had a big party at my house this past weekend, the Super Bowl, okay? And my wife searched finger food. I said, this is fantastic. They're delicious. But next time, honey, you got to clip the nails.
Oh.
She got so angry, she gave me the finger. She yelled at me again. She said, Bruce, you think I'm running a 5-star restaurant over here? I said, apparently you are, because every time you cook, I have reservations. And as I said, I dated a lot of people before my wife. I used to have lots of dates. Now, nothing but prunes.
Yeah.
And my wife said, you compare me to a prune? I said, no, you have a lot less wrinkles. He gets angry all the time. I said to her one time, I said, if you ever left me, I'd be a hit at the 55 and over community. She said, how's that possible? I said, because I have my original hips.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Bruce Lipsky. Have a great day.
Hey, thank you. Woo, Bruce Lipsky, everybody. And sorry, Lacey's speaking. So, yeah. Woo, give her Bruce. Yes. Our next performer is she's a junior senior citizen, a cougar, a board certified emergency medicine physician, and one too many people kept telling her to do stand-up, and she was forced to give it a try. 7 years later, she's still having fun. Comedy is a place to dress up like an actual female, enjoy rooms full of clean people with their clothes on. Let's get up for Ellen Wesley. Ellen Wesley. Woo.
Hey, hi you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm Danny, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks. How great to share the room with all you guys. Oh my God. But I am the blood and guts doctor. I am. You know, emergency medicine, it's blood and guts and death. These are all things that I love so much. Yes, it's just so great. People come in, they're actually sick. And the good news is when they yell, nurse, I go, nope, not me. But it's, you know, it's fun. I want to help people. That's why I like to do what I do. I can't stand to be bored. And that is a very wonderful thing. And they pay me. It's very good. You know what else is very good? My nose doesn't work. That's excellent.
Yeah.
And part of the job description of a physician, the good news is, when it starts to smell bad, oops, I gotta go. I got more stuff to do. But I love what I do. I love taking care of people. And I work in Chicago. And I always like to tell people, I think it's very important when I do comedy, aside from dressing up like an actual female, because I really didn't get my fashion and makeup and hair shit together till way after 50 years old. And I'm not going to scare you with how old I am now, but it's a part of, and I get to dress up like a female and share things with people and encourage people, but I don't like to scare anybody from going to the doctor. So I've never had a malpractice suit. I tell people that because I don't want to frighten them. But I work also in the hood, right? You know, the deep hood of Chicago. And I thought, oh my God, you know, when I was in the hood, you know, there's really scary stuff, especially in Chicago. I thought from the way the news is, there's lead in the air, bullets all day long and all night long. But look, I can drink and I don't have any holes in me. But I learned what to really fear in the hood, you guys. I totally learned what to really fear. You know what? It's the white people. Oh my God, it is so true. Oh my God, especially women. I'm not even going to go there. My anti-women's lib shit is a long time. But, you know, if I've got something in my back, it was from a professional, not from a patient. They go from the front. Speaking of the front, one of my first views last evening was a young man who decided he didn't want to be there anymore. People let go of their inhibitions, you know, and he's standing there in the hall, very lovely young man, naked. Nice body parts, so I really liked, well, actually one, it was very lovely. I can't that's not professional, but you know, it's like when I'm on dates, guys, you know, I'm in between husbands, okay? I didn't tell you that. I'm in between husbands, not mine. But you know, I'm dating a little bit, you know, and oh my God, if some guy, you gotta know, if anybody out there, if you're intending on sending a dick pic to a female physician or me particularly, expect a critique. Not only expect a critique, but only send a nice dick picture. I don't want to see bullshit. I mean, later, and it smells, but later in the evening last night, there was a woman, of course, a white female, come on. Oh my God, she's like flashing. I mean, we don't, and I don't think I've ever heard so many nurses say, cover it up, honey. And those were the women. But thank God my nose doesn't work. But so that's why I work in the deep hood, and I learned a lot in the deep hood, and I am in between husbands. Oh, but I should tell you, you know, what do you think is the hardest part? I mean, about being an emergency room doctor? You guys might be surprised. Dr. Lynette knows we don't have pee breaks, folks. None. You learn how to hold it really good. I have the bladder capacity of a nurse. I'm very proud of that. But oh my God. But let's see. Okay, actually, so the other hardest part is the nurses. They're so cute. They're younger than me and they're cuter than me. But I did what any educated, sophisticated female would do. Right, folks? And I got a shit ton of plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I won't tell you which body parts are fake, however. But now I have 5 husbands and still none of them are mine. Isn't that economical of me? It is so cool. Well, and I'm online, I should tell you, I'm on online dating. And you know, I'm a little older. So what they send me, you know, they send me guys that are a little older. Well, okay, all right. They send me dead guys, cold guys. But, you know, there is a good side. I try to look at the good side to everything. And they don't interrupt, never interrupt. And they're already stiff when I find them. I love it. What else can I tell you? So, what else? I'm a good friend. I am a good friend. And my wonderful friend, Marvia, is having a birthday. And, well, I wanted to take her, you know, I'm an adventurous person, and I wanted to take her. And I'm not going to be rude. I try never to be rude in anywhere unless the people deserve it. But so my friend Marvia is having a birthday, and I wanted to do something special for her. I thought, I know, we'll go on a rock climbing wall. And she said, Ellen, I'm 85 years old. Well, so we went, and I told her, I assured her she'd be safe. And you know, it was the first time in the history of the rock climbing wall that they had to call in an alpine rescue team to get her off the wall. No broken bones, nothing. So I thought, okay, we're ahead. We're going to go skating. So we went skating. And then her legs swelled up, well, one more than the other. But, you know, and they had to use the jaws of life to get the skates off. Oh, my God. But then I thought, okay, better for her, you know, there haven't been any jaws near her legs in a very long time.
Yeah.
But then we finished off at Victoria's Secret, and so she tried on the thong, and she liked it, but it got stuck up there. And again, we had to call in that alpine rescue team to get it out. So you guys, you're wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. This is so fun. This is my ladylike outfit for the evening. Thanks so much. And always remember, for those of you who are anywhere near it, a funeral is not a sad event. No. Coming from me, an ER doctor, it is an opportunity for you to find young men with mommy issues you can manipulate into being your sex slave. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ellen. That's great advice. We'll see you the next week. I don't know, but yeah, thanks. Yeah, great advice. And yeah, she's in between husbands, so there you go, fellas. All right. Our next funny guy DC weaves his unique observations on social issues, racial identity, relationships, aging, parenting, and has a career as a chiropractic physician into it. He's a twisted, reliable brand of funny. Okay, DC has performed internationally, headlined at Southeast Asia, and has a comedy album on Spotify called Chocolate Durian. He now resides in Chicago and is currently establishing his brand in the Midwest comedy scene. So let's give it up for DC.
DC's in the house.
All right, Danny, remind me to shorten my bio. I was like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
Now, folks, my name is DC, spelt D-E-E-C-E-E, not the letters D-C. Because I have a lot of people say and ask, hey, are you called DC because you were born in DC, or that's where you come from, or that's where you're conceived? Like, no, that's kind of presumptuous to name yourself after the city where you were born or where you might have been conceived. If that was the case, if you came to my house, it'd be like, hey, well, welcome to my home. My name is DC, and this is my wife, Chicago. And these are my kids, Niagara Falls, and my son, Burger King. All right, that's so I love what I do. And typically in our office is I always greet my patients face down. So meaning that by the time I actually start treating them, they're face down on the table, and I always greet them with, hey, Mr. Jones, hey, Mrs. Ansel. But ever so often someone responds with a, hey, doc, how do you know it's me? Oh my goodness, you recognize us by our backs? Like, no, you know that. Your details are in the computer screen in front of the table, right? Like, because that would assume that we only recognize the parts, we only recognize a person by the parts that we treat. That makes no sense. And heaven forbid that you run into me on the street. If that was true, you say, hey, DC, doc, do you remember me? I'm like, wait, hold on a second. And I tap you on the ground, put your face down, feel your back. Oh, Jim, hey, I recognize that scoliosis anywhere. Good to see you. I've been keeping up with your therapy. Or heaven forbid that you run into a dentist and say, hey, Dr. Jim, hold on a second, open up your mouth. Oh, Gingivitis Jones. Hey, I recognize that abscess anywhere. And ladies, heaven forbid that you run into your gynecologist.
Oh,
I know. So my profession gets a bad rap because we have a bad PR problem. I'll be honest, like, our image sucks sometimes. Because you go into some chiropractic clinics, you'll see a simple table, some therapy machines, and a desk. And there are other clinics you walk into, you see nothing but a table, but also straps and racks and hooks and racks and then racks on straps and straps on racks and strap-ons. I'm like, hold on, strap-ons? Wait, is that a sex swing in the corner? I recognize a sex swing when I see one. Folks, sometimes we're just one nipple clamp away from being a full BDSM dungeon. I'm just gonna say, choose your clinic appropriately. There's a fine line that gets blurred between my personal life and professional life. Here's where you might hear at home, overhearing me and my wife making love outside of a door. Ooh, that's good. Harder, deeper, a little to the left. Now stick your thumb into the trigger point in my hamstring, baby. I'm like, hold on a second. Is this a foreplay or therapy? Listen, I'm off the clock. If not, you're paying me. And you owe me $50 for that copay. No, it's years ago, I remember being invited to go to an adult strip club and for a bachelor party. And I reluctantly said yes. Because I'm reluctant because I have a hard time taking my professional hat off because, of what I do. So I went, and all the guys and all the friends in the front row throwing stacks of money on stage at the dancers going, shake that ass, make that ass clap, shake it, work it. I'm in the front row looking at the girl going, is that scoliosis? I think that's scoliosis. So I want to take it upon myself to try and help her, right? Because that hat's always on. So now I'm taking my $100 bill going, hey, Cinnamon, over here. Cinnamon, over here. Come here, Cinnamon. Come on, Cinnamon. All right, Cinnamon. Okay, take your knee, Cinnamon. No, not on my lap. Get off my lap. Take a knee. First of all, great set, Cinnamon. So, Cinnamon, do you remember when you're in the pole, you're suspended off the ground, elevated yourself into like a horizontal plank, tits facing up, totally naked, and you're holding onto the pole, nothing but some kind of a coochie thigh suction right between your legs that no one could explain, and everybody went crazy? Do you remember that maneuver you did? I notice your hips are off. Yeah. That means your core is weak. Cinnamon, you got to get that checked. Otherwise, you can have an L405 disc injury. Cinnamon's like, oh, that's so sweet, Dr. Daddy. That's so kind. Hey, baby, would like a dance? Want me to dance for you? Want a lap dance? Cinnamon, no, because your hips are really misaligned and my pelvis is balanced. I don't want you mucking up my perfectly aligned balance. I don't want you mucking it up. I don't want to pay for an unsteady lap dance. In fact, you need me more than I need you. Here's my business card. Folks, that night I helped 10 other dancers like Cinnamon. 10. I changed their champagne room into my own examination room. When everybody else is throwing $500 on stage at the dancers, trying to make it rain on tips, I earned $2,000 in consultation fees. I'm just saying, I made it work for me. Folks, that's my time. My name is DC. Thank you very much. Do some self fun here. Oh, what?
Yeah, thank you, DC. Woo. Yes, all the way from Chicago or DC or yeah. Yes, Chicago. Cool. Thanks. And our next comedian, let me find who's here. Her name is Lynette Charity, and she decided. Well, it took her 3 years to find her funny bone. While she searched, she decided to become an anesthesiologist. Sorry, I can't remember. Anesthesiologist. Okay, and she now has practiced for over 40 years, putting people to sleep. What can you say? The pay was good. So even when she found her funny bone at the age of 60, she continued her medical career passing gas by day. And trying to kill in comedy by night. So let's give it up for Lynette Charity, everybody. Woo!
Woo! Oh, I'm clapping for myself. Look at me, I'm clapping for myself. Thank you so much for that introduction, Danny. And the people that are on this call, you may not notice the comedy list here, but it reads like a reverse Oreo cookie. She was just before me, and now it's me. We are the chocolate in the middle. Okay? All right. So I am Dr. Lynette Charity. I'm an anesthesiologist. And as Danny said, you know, I have been doing this job that I do as an anesthesiologist, putting people to sleep and passing gas for money for 40 years. For 40 years. Now, let me just tell you something. Anesthesiology is hard. Becoming an anesthesiologist is hard. Okay, why is it hard? 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency. Hard, people. Oh, golly. It felt like 12 years a slave. The medical version. The medical. Oh, and let me just tell you, let's just go back a little bit, medical school. I trained in Boston in the 70s. In the 70s, racial tensions were high, unlike today. So I'd leave school and I'd ride a bus or I'd go on the subway, and people would stare at me. And they would turn their noses up, and somebody would say, you know where you belong, in the back. Really? Oh, you get me wrong. Not because I was Black. No. Because I smelled like dead people. Dead people. For over a year, my fragrances were eau de formaldehyde. There was a cadaver musk. My favorite, simply embalm. Yeah. And keeping up with that tone. So in medical school, I got the bug that I thought I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, and my professors kind of pushed me. They kind of pushed me to do it. Well, in fact, they pimped me out. Let's just get it the way it is. They pimped me out. They sent me out and they said, learn the trade, learn the positions, learn how to please your patients. And before you know it, I was a pro. And just to let you know, when you sleep with a pro, out you go. That's my tactic. So I love anesthesiology. I really do. I love my patients. Yeah. Asleep. Asleep. Because let's just be truthful here. And there's some people who can know about this. Awake patients can be annoying. Annoying. Awake patients can be annoying, asking questions. Doc, does this look infected? Doc, does this mole look like cancer? Doc, why so much anal leakage? I don't know. I don't care. Time for a syringe full of shut up and go to sleep. That's how I roll. Because I'm like a ninja. People never know when I'm coming. They never see me coming. I slip down from the ceiling and I go, and then they wake up in recovery room and they're going, oh, what happened? Was there something in my neck, or maybe it was my vein, or, oh my goodness, was I violated? They don't see me coming. So let me just tell you, so there was this guy that came into the operating room and he was droning on and on and on about taxidermy. Taxidermy. First, I skinned the animal. Then I cleaned the skin with a cleansing solution. And then I, what's happening? I had to shut him up. Too much talkie, had to shut him up. I feel kind of bad though, since he was the surgeon. So now I am trying desperately, I'm trying to transition from passing gas to being a comic. And I get the roles mixed up sometimes. So there I am in the hospital and I go in a room and I go, hey, how's everybody doing? Oh, men and women are different, don't you think? Drink up. Oh, you're my next patient. Put that drink down. You can't drink. Oh, my bad. And then when I go to a comedy club, this is how I work the room. Oh my goodness, that guy over there, he's got a lot of tats. He's gonna be a difficult IB. And he's probably afraid of needles. Oh my goodness, look at all those piercings that she has. But she's got a thin back. I could do an epidural on her without a problem. But she's probably afraid of needles. And all those guys back there, I don't even care if they're afraid of needles. None of them look like they're insured. So forget them. Forget them. Because I can't turn it off. I can't turn it off. And it's because, what if one of these people become my patient at some point in time? What am I supposed to say? This happened to me. It actually happened to me. So I do a comedy show, and a few days later, I'm back doing my thing in the hospital. They wheel a patient into the room, and I go, hi, I'm Dr. Charity, your anesthesiologist. What, is this a joke? Is this a joke? Didn't I see you at the comedy club? Are you a real doctor? Because what's happening? It's time for a syringe full of shut up, go to sleep. I'm done. It went a little faster than I thought, but I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Charity, yeah, we love you. Yeah, she's a gas. All right.
Good come back there, Danny.
Yeah, thanks. That was great. Ooh. And oh, right then, let's see, I'm searching here. Okay, then our next comedian I performed with him many times throughout this pandemic. Got to meet him on the Zoom comedy shows. Very happy to have him here tonight. Let's give it for Michael Friedman. Michael Friedman.
Hey.
Hey,
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I do work in the healthcare field. But let me just tell you a little about myself. So the first time I ever did an open mic back in the 80s, 35,000 feet in the air. And my seat was broken on this plane. And they put me in one of those jump seats. And I'm getting drunk. They're feeding me alcohol and everything. And I just couldn't resist. I seen that mic swinging back and forth. And I get on and I'm like, this is Captain Mike. The reason for our delay is we had to weld the left wing back on.
Yeah.
If you look over to your left, you can barely see where we welded it back on. And all of a sudden, the flight attendant comes running down. She goes, "What are you, nuts? The pilot just radioed for authorities to arrest you when we get to Mexico." And I'm like, oh. And now they're trying to sober me up. I run to the middle of the plane where my seat's supposed to be, and I go in my overhead. And I'm trying to change my clothes, and I'm falling. I'm in my underwear. I'm falling all over everybody and everything. And the plane finally lands, and I get off the plane, and I'm almost through customs, and some woman goes, "There he is! There he is!" Next thing I know, I'm arrested, and I'm in jail with El Chapo.
Oh.
And then some guy finally comes in who speaks English. He goes, "Mr. Friedman, you're being charged with hijacking." I'm like, hijacking? Who's going to hijack a plane to go to Mexico? Maybe I hijacked a few of those little liquor bottles, but that's about it. Well, anyway, where I fit in with medical is, so I do repair x-ray machines. And one time I accidentally left a wrench on the x-ray table. I felt really bad for that guy. They rushed into surgery. Another time, this guy comes in, he's complaining about abdominal pains. They x-ray him, and they noticed he had a Coke bottle enlarged in his rectum. So the doctor goes to consult his wife, and the wife starts wigging out. She goes, "That's impossible. We only drink Pepsi." You know, so being in the x-ray business for so many years, I do, even though I'm not a doctor, I do know about anatomy. You know, the human hand here, everybody should know, it's made up of 27 small bones. But when I'm bored and lonely, mine seems to have 28. So anyway, a few years ago, I was going away with my wife to Florida, and I swear TSA has to do a better job. I realized that I had this little pocket knife in my bag, and it was from the Civil War, and it was passed down generation to generation. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose this. I just know it. And sure enough, we go through the x-ray, and they pull us aside, say they have to go through our bag, and all of a sudden they pull out my wife's shampoo, and they go, "This can't go on the plane." And she starts flipping out. She's like, "What do you mean that can't go on the plane? You let him on with his knife?" I'm like, shut up. And all of a sudden, the TSA guy pulls me aside, and he goes, "I can see why you brought that knife on." So anyway, I'm a pretty big guy. And one time I took one of these little commuter flights, and all of a sudden the pilot gets on. He's like, "Well, Michael Friedman, please move to the center of the plane. We just circled JFK 7 times."
Yeah.
Seriously, another time I was on a plane, and I sit down, and I go to look out my window, and it's all taped up. So I called the flight attendant over, and she comes over, and she's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, can I get my seat changed? I'm uncomfortable flying with this tape on this window." And she's like, she's looking me up and down. She goes, "No, I don't think so. If that window implodes, you're going to clog the hole and save everybody on this plane." So anyway, every time I do go to a doctor, I seem to have 2 problems. high blood pressure and an enlarged prostate. I told the doc, I'm like, Doc, if you check my prostate first, my pressure will be good. Anyway, as I'm getting up there in age, other things aren't getting up there. So he gives me a prescription for the Viagra stuff. And I'm taking it, nothing. So I go back to him, I'm like, Doc, these pills, they're just not working. And he's like scratching. Do you have a picture of your wife? So I show him a picture and he goes, oh, I'm tripling your dose. Anyway, so I'm married almost 25 years and I have a little nickname for my wife. It's Tamara, because everything this woman's doing Tamara. I just wish at the altar she would have said Tamara. 25 years of marriage and the only thing this woman's ever blown was the engine in my car. You know, she loves to spend my money too. One time she spent $800 on a tattoo. I must admit, it was very nice, very good quality. I just wish it wasn't on a boyfriend. Yeah. Finally, she was going to get a job. She gets a interview for one of these seasonal positions at Costco. Too bad she wanted holidays off. So anybody familiar with Wagyu beef? $200 a pound. Yes. I brought a couple of steaks home for Labor Day and she cooks it up and I'm eating it and it's all burnt. It tastes just like shoe leather. I'm like, what the heck did you do here? She's like, I was in a rush. I was like, if you were in a rush, it would have been cooked to perfection. I was like, here, happy birthday. Now you have a pair of Japanese shoes. You know, I thought she was coming around for my birthday. She goes, Mike, I'm going to make you whatever you want for dinner. So I'm thinking surf and turf will be pretty nice. So she runs in the kitchen. She makes me a tuna and a bologna sandwich. You know, it's weird. She you know, during these crazy times, she actually did get COVID, but I never got it, working in a hospital and everything. But it seems that my landscaper got it. The mailman got it, and even my rabbi. I really kind of do wish I did get it. This way, I wouldn't have to taste the cooking. I'm gonna leave you with this one last thing. You know, being married to her takes a certain type of blood. Be positive. Too bad I'm O negative. Thank you.
Hey, woo, Michael Friedman, everybody. Good for Michael Friedman. Yeah. And yeah, good luck with your car. I hope you can get your car fixed. Okay, well, already you're next comedian. You've seen this comedian on Impractical Jokers, a comedy knockoff in all over New York City. She's also been helping to help stop the spread of Omicron. And she also hosts a show on Sundays, SOS show. So let's give her Heather Lerman, everybody. Big hand for Heather.
Yeah.
I got a new job as a COVID contact tracer. I call people to say, you might die. This is the worst job I ever had. And I picked up dog poop for a living. I'm not talking about little Cupcake the Chihuahua. I'm talking about Sergeant the St. Bernard and Friends. 40 dogs, 4 times a day, 7 days a week. So I'm used to dealing with a lot of shit. But the contact tracer job is so bad. I'd rather be June from The Handmaid's Tale. No, I'd rather eat pig's testicles on Fear Factor. No, I'd rather be a contestant in Squid Games. In training, we practice mock calls. Hi, this is Heather from the New York State Contact Tracing Call Center. Can I ask you a few questions? Yes, you can. Have you been vaccinated? I sure have, and I got the booster. Oh, okay. Do you happen to have the lot numbers? Right in front of me. Is there anything else you need? No, that's fine. Thank you. In real life, this is how a call goes. Hi, it's Heather from the New York State Contact Tracer Call Center. I'm calling to let you know that your son Kevin came in contact with another student who tested positive for COVID-19. I don't know if he's got COVID, but I bet he got it from his drug dealer. Is he on drugs again? Well, I don't know. You know how much we spent on rehab? Kevin, are you high again? No, Ma. Call me back when he's high, and I don't mean his temperature.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or you're lucky enough to get this call. Sir, are you aware you've been exposed to COVID-19? Who the fuck is this? Sir, I just need to verify your date of birth. Bullshit, you scam artist. Sir, I just want to verify this. I'm going to stick this stupid long cotton swab up your ass. Don't call this number again. Click. I should have known day one from training. We went around the Zoom room introducing ourselves. We got Mitch, the subway dweller, who popped his head out of the manhole. I haven't seen the light of day in 44 years. They told me I'd get free Wi-Fi and all-you-could-eat Subway sandwiches. So I took the job. And we have Vicki the Vampire. She was wearing all black, hanging upside down. She shaved her teeth for fangs. Oh, and she only works after sundown. And don't forget Kathy the Klingon. Hey, Kathy, try throwing on a shirt. We went through sexual harassment training, and I felt like saying, have you seen who works here? None of them are a threat to sexual harassment. But then we learned all about Karen culture awareness, and it's not what you think. Karen people are a group of people from Southeast Asia that speak their own language and have their own culture. You know, kind of like, but it always translates back to, can I speak to your manager? I had a 20-something-year-old pretentious bitch trainer who thought she was superior to all of us. Well, she was to 90% of us, but not to me. At the end of the day, she's like, Heather, you only made 3 calls. Why? Why? One guy thought it was a scam. The other thought her kids were on drugs. And the third, I hate you and this job. We've come a long way in contact tracing. We're much more humane. During the bubonic plague, they marked your house with an X and you were dead. No, there's no doctor coming. X marks the square. Bye-bye, dead. Then during the Spanish flu, they put a white scarf on the door and threw you a chimichanga if you were lucky. Bye-bye. Now with COVID, you get a call from me, a mask and a Zoom account. You're welcome. But I eventually had to resign for my mental sanity. So I applied for a new job as a penguin pooper scooper in Antarctica. I figured nothing could be worse. I still needed to de-stress. So I booked a 90-minute massage. I thought I'd get this sweet Asian woman from South Korea. Instead, I got a North Korean defector who hated everybody. He shoved my face in a donut. I had to wear my mask the whole time. The bed was 1,000 degrees. I felt like I was being buried alive. And I think he dislocated my shoulder. He turned my head around halfway across my back so I looked like Reagan from The Exorcist. This guy hated me. Well, America, but I was so disfigured. I looked like a penguin walking back to my car. Which is perfect for my new job. That's all I got tonight, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Woo. Happy Lordman, everybody. And catch her shows on Sundays, also on live streaming, right? Zoom on Sundays, the SOS show. That's going. I was on that. It was a lot of fun. Alrighty, your last comedian of the evening, a very funny guy, very happy to have him here. He actually performed at the Rochester Fringe Festival in 2020 and the Finger Lakes Comedy Festival 2016 to 2020. And he appeared monthly on the Colorado comedy shows Apocalypse Comedy and produces his own feature show, Geek Comedy Hour, throughout the Northeast. So let's give it up for Bronco Brad. Bronco Brad. Woo.
Hey.
Oh, well, thank you very much. What a nice host that Danny is. Mr. Science is sure a great host to have on this show. Hey, folks, welcome to the Bronco Brad Special Edition Frontier Doctor. Yes, we're going to do all the kind of frontier medicine to make you feel good and make your belly feel good from just laughing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, then grab up your Bronco Bread wooden clackers. Let's start clacking along to the opening theme song. Well, I'm gonna gallop, gallop, gallop to the best medicine show. Gonna go to the show where the science is keen, to the best comics that I ever seen. I'm gonna gallop, gallop, gallop to the best medicine show. I'm gonna hop on my saddle and away I go to the best medicine show. All right, well, woo, doggy, let's cool down those wooden clackers and get started. Yes, indeed. Well, you know, boys and girls, I always love to start off the show with our science corner. And of course, I love doing the science corner with my little buddy, Wally, the happy talking neutrino. Hiya, Wally. Hi, Bronco Brad. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mr. Science. Hi. Well, that covers just about everybody, Wally. Say, Wally, our science corner tonight for Frontier Doctor is, what the heck is an MRI? MRI, Bronco Brad? That's right, little buddy. Well, boys and girls, an MRI is when all my little magnetic friends go through your body and make a nice picture on the other side so the doctor can see what's going on the inside. Well, that's a dang darn easy way to explain it, little buddy. And, you know, Bronco Brad and everybody, neutrinos go through everybody's body thousands of times each day. They do? That's right. But I want to let you boys and girls know that when I go through your body, I always close my eyes so I don't see any of your private parts that your bathing suit covers. Well, that's a dang darn gentleman thing for you to do there, little buddy. Oh, I'm glad to do that, Bronco Brad. Okay, say goodnight. Okay, goodnight. Well, he is a polite little buddy, ain't he? Yes, indeed. Well, now it's time for a made-up tale of the Old West. Yes. This one here is about a special place way out in the West. It's a blood bank. It's run by a fine cowboy called Roger, the Red Cross Cowboy. Listen up. Well, way out in the tiny western town, just near a river bank, Roger, the Red Cross Cowboy, runs a friendly old blood bank. He sits at his Red Cross station, shouting, "Folks, stop on in. I'm taking blood and giving blood straight from your donation."
Girls.
And all the cowpunchers would say, "Roger, just how exactly do you collect that blood?" And he'd grab up his fake wooden guitar like this one, and he'd sing. He had a deep voice too, sort of like Paul Robeson. Well, I'm gonna stick a little needle in your arm, and then I'm gonna set you loose with a handful of sugar cookies and a big glass of orange juice. Oh, that sounded great. So whenever there was a gunfight and people were bleeding on the streets, they'd run up to Roger and say, "Roger, what kind of type of blood do you have?" And he'd pick up his fake wooden guitar and he'd sing again. "Oh, I got O positive, O negative, ready to fill your tank. I got the A, the B, the AB2 right here in my blood bank." Well, wasn't that a great story? Sure was. Yes. All right. Well, now, boys and girls, it's time for our art corner. Yes, it's a fun art corner tonight. Tonight, I'm going to show you, boys and girls, how to draw a flying liver spaceship. Oh, ain't that fun? Yes, indeed. Now, remember, boys and girls, sometimes if you floss, you might lose your liver, like Mr. Science said. In that case, you can use a real liver. But if you don't floss, well, your teeth may fall out. You'll have to draw a liver. So start off with a red crayon on your pen, and you draw a liver. Here we go. And it's kind of squarish on the top, and then it curves a little bit like that. Oh, ain't that a great looking liver? Yes, indeed. Easy to draw, ain't it? Yes. Now, we're going to have to draw some propulsion because it's a spaceship liver. And usually, The best thing is to add on a couple of lungs. Yes, lungs, because they put out a lot of hot air. So draw some lungs that push out a lot of hair. Think about all the people on Fox News and draw their lungs. Yes, a lot of air, a lot of hot air coming out of those lungs. Ooh, doggy, yes, indeed. There we go. Our lung jets, yes, and there we go. That are lung jets. And now those lung jets are putting out hot air. So put all that rocket hot air coming out of there. Yes, indeed. Look at that liver fly. Woo, doggy. Now it's a flying liver spaceship, so you got to have someone to drive it. So take your black pen or crayon, draw a little cockpit, and then put yourself inside. Here's Mr. Science flying his liver after he's got done flossing. Yes, indeed. Ain't that nice? Sure. Now you can put that on your refrigerator and show it to all your friends. Okay. Well, we got time for one more song here. You know, boys and girls, I like major parts of my body. Sometimes my lungs, my kidneys, pancreas. Yes, indeed. My lower and upper intestines. Yes. And I also like my muscle and bones, but one of my favorite parts of my body is my tendons. Aren't they yours too? Sure. Yes. And my favorite little tendon is a little friend of mine called Teddy, the lucky tendon. Yes. Well, Teddy, the lucky tendon, he stretches and he snaps. You could loan him a 20 and I'm sure he'll pay you back. He's a real go-getter. He really likes to hustle and he works real nice with your bone and your muscle. You know, one time, boys and girls, I was playing volleyball with Teddy the lucky tendon, and all of a sudden he fell in a deep, dark hole. Well, I pulled my leg down in there and I said, grab hold, Teddy. And I yanked and got that tendon out of there. Oh, he was so happy. And as I was limping away, people said, there goes Bronco Brad. He had just pulled a tendon. Teddy the lucky tendon, his stretches and his snaps. You could loan him a 20 and I'm sure he'll pay you back. Well, that's all the time now for the Bronco Brad Dang Tootin' Good Time Show. I sure hope you had a dang darn good time with all the fun comedians here and Mr. Science being a great host. Until next time, boys and girls. Well, we've hung up our saddles and laid down our tools. The night stars are out burning their nuclear fuels. It's time to change the cat box and go wash our hair. So good night, you cowpokes out there. Good night, cowpokes.
Ooh, hey, Bronco Brad. Give it up for Bronco Brad, everybody. Wow, I think we really learned something. I like the graphics. That way you can visualize it more. Woo. So, well, that's our show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the debut of the Best Medicine Show, where we bring the best medicine to you. Laughter. I'm Mr. Science, your host, and let's give a big hand to all the comedians who performed for you tonight. Bob Lepatkin, Ellen Orchid, Bruce Lipsky, Ellen Wesley, DC, Lynette Charity, Michael Friedman, Heather Lerman, and Bronco Brad.
Yes.
And I want to say thank you to Danny. He did a fabulous job producing the show, and our audience members are the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's going to be shown ad nauseum. You can watch it for the rest of your life. It'll be where, Danny?
Yeah, it's going to be on Danny Desch's YouTube channel or on Danny Desch's Facebook Live. You can see it there. It's always there. So and you can
always
pass along
there. That's what I mean. You have no life but to watch the show. Let's hear it for everyone.
Yay! Thank you, Elaine, for organizing this. And give it up for Elaine Wood also. Woo.